Hey YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time watching me, welcome. I hope you are going to enjoy this video that I'm providing to you today. And for those who have seen my channel before, welcome back. I hope you're excited for today's video, which is covering the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle Iceberg. I have done one of these on Dragon Ball Z Universe 2 before. However, I have not done one on any other games besides that, and today, as of course you can tell by the title, this is going to be the Dokkan Battle Iceberg. Now, I'm pretty sure if you click this video, you're probably completely caught up onto what an iceberg is, but for those who aren't sure, let me just get into it really fast, as we're going to be here a while. An iceberg is pretty much just a giant trivia sheet, sorted by the most known facts by communities, all the way down to the most obscure facts by communities. So at the top, you will see a fact that everybody and their mother knows, and then at the bottom, you'll see something that even the most knowledgeable people may not know about your favorite video game or movie series or whatever you're looking at an iceberg about. So today, we will be covering that for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, which was posted onto the Reddit page by the name you see on screen. Every single entry we will go over on here, and its origin. So hopefully you guys are excited, and before we begin, I just want to thank Spelical for creating this awesome iceberg. And not only did he create it, he's doing his own mini-series on it as well in part, so if you're interested, definitely go check that out. Link in the description if you're interested. But without any further ado, guys, let's just jump into it, because we're going to be here a while, so make sure to strap in. Starting us off as everybody's favorite safety net. Everybody knows what safety net is. It is a anti-cheat system put in place by Dokkan to stop modding, bots, and everything of that nature. While it's only on JP, it's only activated on JP. It's on Global too, I presume, but it's just not activated. It gets activated when the version D update plan comes out. So Global players, get those last mods in while you can, because it won't last forever. I know there's still private servers up, but it's just much harder to do now. To be released. To be released is referring to way back in 2017 during the download celebration of that year in the latter half, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron released for the first time on Global and JP at the same exact time. JP just got a new system called the Category System, however, the Global version did not have that system at the time. And as a way to make it so Global wouldn't be in an imbalance because all the mono leads haven't released up until that point, Global got substitute leader skills on Gogeta and Omega called To Be Released, meaning they didn't actually have leader skill because of the fact that the Category System wasn't in the game yet. This was later corrected about 3 months after they released with the category summon for when it launched into the game, but for about 3 months, Gogeta and Omega did not have leader skills. Dokkan tubers. I'm pretty sure, once again, because at the top of the iceberg, everybody knows what this is. This is just referring to YouTubers who cover Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle and its various contents, pretty much for a living. Bots in World Tournament. This one's obvious too, because during the World Tournament, I believe this is fixed now, but way back, if you use the bot in the World Tournament, automatically gets you banned. And I believe one time, Renzi, the creator of DBZ Space, you botted his way to the top, give double rewards or something. I'm not actually entirely sure, but I know botting in World Tournament, very hard to do, and if you were caught doing it, you were subsequently banned for good reason. Diamond backgrounds. This is one of the worst features in the entire game. If you're not aware, somehow, inside of Dokkan Battle, when you awaken a card, whether it be to an SSR, a TUR, or an LR, very rarely on LRs, it can occur as a bug, but on TURs and SSRs, if you awaken them, you will notice they have this ugly ass diamond background that's covering up the art that the card should have in their background. Disgusting, and everybody hates it. I don't know why it's not a feature to turn it off. Just thinking about it makes me mad. Let's just move on to the next one. LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan walking. This is referring to, in LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the first summonable LR on the Japanese version of the game's old super attack animation for 2 years past his release. Originally, he had a super attack animation that was kind of unacceptable for the first LR, summonable LR that you need to pull unfeatured on a banner. It featured him when he was walking to push the Kamehameha to defeat Cell. It just consisted of bouncing his JPEG image up and down on the screen to emulate walking because they didn't know how to animate his legs moving. It's actually disgusting if you look back at it now. It's funny. It's sad though because he was debuted on a banner where you had to pull him unfeatured. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Let's just move on to the next one. Sora's 2020 tier list. This is referring to He's a moderator on the Dokkan subreddit. At least I believe he. This is referring to the fact that his 2020 tier list looked pretty good up until the second spot on it being STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaku Goku, an extremely controversial unit, to say the least. He put him at number 2 above various units like Tech Ultimate Gohan, Angel Frieza, a ton of units released up until that point that were T-Wars that were clearly better than him in most aspects. But his was at number 2 purely based on APT, I believe, which is not normally how you rank units. I respect him doing that, but I can clearly see why a ton of people got mad at it. I'm pretty sure I don't really need to explain this one. Yeah, it's just a really weird list. 1 stone compensation. The global version, every time there's an error every 2 days, they usually hand out 1 stone as compensation. Moving on. 7 stones TG. 7 stones TG refers to 7 stones top grossing. There is a formula global version of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle takes when calculating top grossing. Every country that hits top grossing overall will receive 7 stones, and it'll keep going up and up and up depending on how many countries hit it. So if 2 countries hit it, they get 14. This wasn't always the case back before STR Blue Kaku Goku. It had a format where if a random number of countries hit top grossing, global would receive 30 stones, but from what I remember, global players were complaining about the being just so infrequent that they changed to 7 stones per country, which I personally don't like this format. I want them to go back to 30 stones. It's just much easier and it's much more reliable getting 30 stones rather than 7. Plus, after the 30 stones, they hand out rewards too. I have a feeling they changed this, and because of all the complaining, and also just to give less, I honestly feel like that is probably the reason they changed it. But you guys probably already know about this anyway. LR Gohan and Cell's transformations. This is referring to the absolutely asinine conditions that these two need to be able to transform into their super states. Cell going into Perfect Cell and Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. It's pretty much a mean that Gohan doesn't have a transformation, and Cell's isn't too bad, honestly, since it can activate on turn 3, and you only have to fall below 29% HP. Gohan's is absolutely disgusting. Everybody knows what it is. You need to have an android on your team. Turn 5, you need fighting an android. It's actually just disgusting. He's not even that great when he transforms, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, he does a lot of damage, but then he gets killed in one attack afterward. I don't know. He has a really good-looking super attack, but okay, I'm rambling. Let's just move on to the next one. APT calculations. This is referring to the Dokkan subreddit, I believe, where there's a ton of members on there who just love calculating the APT, which is just damage, pretty much. The damage per turn, I believe that's what that is. There just refers to a bunch of members on there who like calculating the damage and base tiers of units on damage and not defense, which in my opinion, defense and offense are interchangeable. They're both extremely important. You can't have one without the other. JP exclusive things. This is just referring to some things that are only on JP, like the Encyclopedia feature, Battlefield 1.0, and some random SR cards. Chain battles suck. This is just referring to how the general consensus of the chain battle game mode on Global and JP is that it sucks. I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say that the game mode's not that bad. It's honestly pretty damn easy. It's like 5 seconds per day. But enough, I don't need to be sharing my opinion here. I just wanted to voice that really fast. You already know everyone hates chain battle. Let's just move on next. Quick editor's note, I unfortunately did miss 3 entries: rigged rates, wrong character in scouter selection, and impossible record. Rigged rates gets covered later. However, to briefly go over wrong character in the scouter, Tech Super Saiyan Blue Goku replaced AGL Sin Shenron on STR Rose's original banner. However, a huge fuss started over it, but they only got compensated 1 stone on Global, while JP had a similar error and got refunds. Impossible records state that modded accounts would run through stages at breakneck speed, clearing like SBR stages in 1 second. So that's what impossible records would be. Alright, making our way down. Super AGL and Extreme Tech ESBR. This is referring to the fact that Super AGL and Extreme Tech were actually unbelievably difficult when they first came out. Super AGL was notorious for having unbelievable enemy stats and being impossible to take down, pretty much. And Extreme Tech is so shit that it can't even take down the stage normally. These two were the most notorious of all the stages, which is why they're on this list. Vegito counter videos. This is just referring to the fact that I believe a lot of videos are posted about STR Vegito, AGL Vegito, Physical Vegito, countering enemies and killing them in 1 turn without anyone else in the rotation doing anything. That's pretty much what that is. Monkey, I'm not sure why this is on here. This is what people call like the Super Saiyan 4s, right? Monkey, right? Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Vegeta, Bardock, Gohan, Broly, Gogeta. They just call him Monkey. Friends list. Every Dragon Ball Z Dokkan player has a friends list that can go up to, I believe, 70 or 100 spaces. On here, you can just pretty much have a friend and set a friend lead for your friends to use, and I'm pretty sure this is on here because there's some meme friend leads. I don't know why this is on the list, but yeah, everyone has a friends list, and you can favorite them so you don't forget about them. You can check how many days it's been since they logged in, or minutes, or seconds if you're a stalker, you know, just stuff like that. Gohan versus Cooler. This refers to, on the Dokkan subreddit, people took side of Tech Teen Gohan, who transformed into Ultimate Gohan, and STR transforming Cooler. People would take side on who is better, usually pasting their passives into comments to counter out the other party. Very goofy. Very funny, though. It's very funny. The homie Goresh. This is referring to the YouTuber DutchEarthDT. Every single time he would refer to Goresh, he would refer to him as the homie Goresh, and eventually it would just stick, and people would know him as the homie Goresh. I'm not going to read this one out loud for obvious reasons, but this is just referring to the fact that people make bets. So if someone wants something to happen really bad, and they're just confident enough that it won't happen, they'll say actually inane stuff like this, like they'll baba every single LR on their account if this happens. Usually, I feel like it refers into them not actually doing it, but they say it just so they're so confident that it's not going to happen that they do it. It's just a fun thing, honestly. 144p enemies. This is referring to the absolutely amazing quality of sprites that the enemies are in the super attacks of very recent characters. Usually, characters past 2019-ish have unbelievably amazing super attack animations, but unfortunately Dokkan is a no-no and decides to keep the sprite of the enemies at 144p pretty much, making the super attacks glaringly bad in some aspects when it needs to zoom in on the enemy.
Oh, your highness, I'm sure it's not that noticeable.
Alright! Take Int Super Saiyan Goku from Namek, for example, when he uses the Angry Kamehameha, it shows the character flying at it. It looks terrible. They have got to do something about this. I can understand why it's on here. Level 79 Hercule statue. This is referring to a glitch that happened back around 2017 where players would, during a mission, when they accepted their rewards, they would have gotten a level 79 Hercule statue, which for some reason, Dokkan devs forgot to set him to level 80, meaning he would sell for a really weird amount of Zenny. And most people locked him up, so they didn't sell him, and then would just tell other people about this very cool piece of history. I hear rumors that they remove these from people's boxes, and also they remove favoriting Kais and stuff like that, so you can't actually do that anymore. This never happened on JP, so I'm not entirely sure of the status of this anymore, but that's why it's 300 stones. This was the most infamous one on here. Why this isn't at the top is beyond me. This is referring to a glitch that happened back with the Japanese version in November of 2017 with the physical Kefla banner. For some reason, on various Japanese players' phones, certain characters weren't displaying in the pool of SSRs, leading to an entire dispute on the banner itself and the game, and then Dokkan devs having to leak the code out for people to make a point that they are not rigging the rates, and as compensation they handed out refunds to this banner and to everybody who summoned, and they also handed out 300 stones as an apology. People have not stopped talking about this ever since, and that's for good reason. 300 stones is a lot. Global LR Tech Broly's active skill. This is referring to her for the longest time. LR Tech Broly on Global did not have an active skill voice. For some reason, I believe this was because of his English voice actor getting into some drama-wama. So they just decided not to give him a voice for some reason. And this also applies to a Japanese voice on the Global version. The Japanese version didn't have this, only the Global version did. They could at least give him the Japanese voice in English, but I don't know why they didn't. They eventually gave him one, though, for In Super Saiyan Broly, who released during Saiyan Day, so yeah, this was a pretty interesting piece of trivia right here. Quest mode forgotten. This is referring to the fact that the quest mode of the game, which is the story mode if you can call it that, has not been updated since 2017 on JP and the global version. So I'm pretty sure it also ended on like some kind of cliffhanger too, so which is always nice. So nobody knows what happened, if anybody knows what happened in the story to begin with, but that's what that means. Nano Luck. This is referring to the YouTuber Nanogenics. I believe a long time ago, it was just like in his summon videos when he would get really lucky, he would call when he pulled the new unit Nano Luck. I'm not entirely sure about this one. I believe that's what that is. I apologize if this is not what it means, but I know there's an entire thing with Nano LR Genix, right, where it was forever he couldn't pull an LR, and then he just kept pulling all the LRs over and over and over, then he called it Nano Luck. I assume that's what that's referring to. UI Goku dodging. This is referring to a meme that STR, Ultra Instinct Sign Goku, and AGL, Ultra Instinct Goku, just never dodge despite having a 70% chance to dodge, and the Int UI Goku, they just never dodge, it seems, even though they have a 70% chance. This is more common on the STR one because he has absolutely no defense, so if he gets hit, he dies, and if he doesn't dodge, it's just like, it becomes like a meme, that people just remember him not dodging rather than him dodging, but despite him having a 70% chance to dodge. Transforming Vegeta on banners is referring to the fact that transforming Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza on like every single banner known to mankind. I have a theory on why. This is not my own theory, but I've heard a theory of being that their leader skills are just really good for new players. Login failures are in big celebrations. This is referring to the fact that during like download celebrations and anniversaries that the game just has so many people trying to log in at the same time that people literally just can't even get into the game and the servers get shut down. This was notorious in November of 2017 for Global's thank you celebration for Intelligence Gogeta. Unobtainable cards is referring to when the global and Japanese version of the game, there are cards you cannot get anymore. Some of these being some V-Jump cards on JP, and then like an SR Blue Goku. There's an SSR Physical Xeno Gotenks you can't get on Global. It's just a bunch of weird stuff like that. It's really cool though, and there's also NPC cards, like this Vegeta on screen. There's some unusable cards, like in some super attacks, like with STR Geneva having unique art in his super attack for some reason. It's very interesting stuff. Honestly, you could go a really long time into this one. Going to the Dokkan Wiki and going to unreleased characters will show you this one. Global EZA release gaps. This is referring to the fact that on Global, for some reason, it takes 8,000 years for them to release some of the JP EZAs. The most notorious one, I believe, Kale and Caulifla, the AGL Kale, Caulifla and the physical Kale, taking unbelievably amount of long time to release onto that version of the game. I don't know why. It's probably because they don't want to break up the way the celebration won the Japanese version, but it just results in pure chaos. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Extremely rare cards is probably referring to the fact that just like unobtainable cards, there's some really rare cards, right? Like, so on the Japanese version, there's the Xeno Gotenks, who has not ever come back. He's only come back one time on the Japanese version, and the global version's never gotten him. There's cards like that. Then there's the V-Jump cards, like I said, on JP, which you can actually get if you are a Japanese player and you entered those codes back when they were available. So that's what extremely rare cards are referring to. Here's a couple on screen. Early health bar and animation skip. This is referring to the fact that sometimes before a turn happens, or an additional attack happens, it'll actually end up skipping the animation entirely of a normal attack. I don't know why this happens. It's a really weird glitch, but it's actually pretty useful as it speeds up the events. This is Goku Black, JP versus Global. On the global version of Dokkan Battle, the physical Dokkan Fest Goku Black is much better than he is on the Japanese version, even after an Extreme Z Awakening. People thought his EZA would make him the same, but no, he's still better on Global and by a mile. Providing support and better stats, he's just a much better unit on the Global version, and it's actually just the worst thing ever on the JP version. Dragon Stone Duplication is referring to way back in 2017, around April of that year, people were able to duplicate stones in their gift box, resulting in Dokkan handing out the biggest ban wave on a silver platter. Cards discolored is referring to illustration errors, I believe, in certain characters. For example, SR Cell now has nail polish, and physical Jiren now actually has a tear in his pants leg. Yeah, just random illustration errors like that. Then there's errors with Attack Transforming Frieza not having aura in his first form. Why he didn't get him in the second and third, I don't know, but yeah, just pretty much stuff like that. Disappearing guess. I'm not actually entirely sure what this one's referring to, but my guess is that whenever you pick a friend lead, and you say you see a friend on your friends list, and then there's a guest right under them, picking that friend instead of the guest will make it so it refreshes the friends list, and then when you go back to a new event, the guest you saw before wouldn't show up. I'm not actually entirely sure about this one, but that is my best guess. Missing collaborations. I believe this is referring to the fact that crossover cards like Mira, Karoli, Barlot all have the name of the game in the bottom right corner of their card art. This wasn't always the case. Originally, they did not have this. This was added in an update later on. Copy-pasted banner art. There's multiple instances of this, but the most notorious one is back in 2016 with AGL Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku's banner. You could actually see Super Vegito under the art of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I believe, which is actually just pathetic how that's even a thing. And the fact it wasn't even fixed, I don't believe, is pretty sad. It's just very weird that even happened. It just goes to show that laziness rather than them actually trying to make a pretty cool banner, but it hasn't happened in a while, except recently on JP, I believe, you could actually see the SSR art of LR Goku and Frieza, the Namek versions, under their LR art, which is pretty sad how this is still a thing in 2021, but what are you gonna do? SR-AGL Goku Angel is a very mysterious card on the Japanese version, as you cannot get this guy on the Japanese version. However, well, you only could get him of Goku Day of 2017 was the last time you could receive this guy, I believe. And on the global version, this guy is obtainable from Dokkan Awakening Overflowing Resolve Goku. It's weird because he changes typing from Tech to AGL, then goes back to Tech, and then he stays like as an SSR for 2 forms. It's just a really weird card, honestly. But I'm pretty sure you guys know the weirdness of this card at hand. He just stays as an SR, he changes typings. It's just so crazy. No stones for Fizzbeer's TG. This is referring to on JP when Fizzbeer's hit top grossing, they didn't give any stones out, and this led people to believe that non-Saiyan characters that hit top grossing don't get stoned, which, and that's true, that's pretty stupid, and it just makes me want them to release more Saiyans, because Saiyans are the best, and I'm getting off topic, let's move on. Mysterious Piccolo card art. I'm not actually entirely sure what this one's referring to. I believe this is referring to, in the news one time, there was a Piccolo where we had no idea where he was from, and people were led to speculate that this would be an unreleased Piccolo or a Piccolo in the future. I can't even find art on this. I remember this vaguely, but I can't for the life of me find or remember where it happened, so forgive me on this one, guys. There is that Brainwash Piccolo from the campaign, if that means anything. Int Kid Goku's English active skill, aka the worst voice lines in the entire game. He uses like his Xenoverse voice, which is GG Goku's voice, by the way. I don't know why they didn't use the old voice actor. I believe it's referring to how bad it is. That's my guess on what that is. But it's terrible, and it's notorious, in my opinion, for just being the worst English actor skill, probably. LGE variants. I believe this is referring to people wanting, like, Legendary Vegeta event, Legendary Frieza event, and stuff like that, back when LGE first came out. I think it took 2 years for us to get a new version of Xiaoman OP is referring to how bad Xiaoman actually is, or was that when he super attacked, he sacrificed 15% of your HP and did no damage and had no defense whatsoever. It just led people to meme on him hearing how bad he was, just say how OP he was instead. 170% pure Saiyans lead. This is referring to AGL SSBE having the HP and defense 170, but 130% to attack, just to keep things balanced. I mean, if you like defensives, build that build for you at least, right? Level 1 Hercule statue is very similar to level 79 Hercule statue. I believe at one point people were able to get a level 1 Hercule statue instead of level 79 Hercule statue. I don't know when this happened. I'm actually not even sure of this one. This one had been a long time ago for me. But yeah, I believe this was not on JP because I probably would have remembered. But yeah, just people managed to get level 1 Hercule statue. That's simple. Sold for very little zenny, so he doesn't even do what he says. Hercule login bonus one. There was a point where this shit didn't come back for an entire year on the global version of the game. For some reason, they just are very scared to bring that one to the global version. My guess being they want to keep the celebrations online, and JP didn't get it too often either, so it just was MIA on global forever. It's very odd. Yes, this is referring to the title screen for SSBKK and Evolution Blue Vegeta. JP tier list is referring to the Japanese website that's like a Japanese Dokkan Wiki and the infamously questionable tier lists they produce, in my opinion. Summon rituals is little rituals you would do before summoning on a big banner. For anniversary, maybe you wear your pants inside out, or maybe you summon on the roof. Just little fun rituals that maybe give yourself good luck, setting your wallpaper as the unit you won, your profile picture, just stuff like that pretty much. Just little fun rituals you can do. Dragon Ball and GT representation. This refers to the fact that Dragon Ball and GT get absolutely no representation inside of Dokkan. This is still true even today. Chancletas. This is something on the Dokkan subreddit that I've seen so much, and I have no idea what it's talking about. I think something with Goku Black. I think it was like a running meme of Goku Black handing out Chancletas, if I said that correctly. I don't know. 150 Memorial Stones is referring to the download celebration when they hand out Memorial Stones that the characters in the shop cost 150 of them, which is a complete ripoff. LR Kid Buu is a giant meme in the Dokkan Battle community because there's just no LR Kid Buu, and people like joke, oh, we have LR Minosha, but we don't have LR Kid Buu. This is really goofy that one day there will be an LR Kid Buu, and there will be. I'm certain. Gohan Teen I believe referring to adult Gohan having teen in his name, and then like teen Gohan, as the games would call him, having youth in his name. It's really just weird stuff. Global exclusive wallpaper, I believe, is referring to the Dragon Ball Heroes wallpaper that JP never got. I wanted that one so bad, by the way. Why don't we have it? But that's what that's referring to. Co-op campaign stamina missions is every anniversary, pretty much. You would spend a certain amount of stamina, and you'd be placed in a bracket with different people, and you would just compete to see who would spend the most stamina. I believe that's what that was. Completing stages and stuff like that would give you points, and you get rewards based on your ranking. Fuck You Celebration is every single year on Global, in one of the most questionable celebrations, it feels like. Global Dokkan doing a bunch of random shit by like changing banners, having awful servers, having terrible celebrations, infamously in 2017 with Intelligence Gogeta's release. And following years with the Super Battle Road god-awful release. Awakening LR AGL SBA Goku. This is LR Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku that people couldn't awaken forever because this event took like an entire year to come back on the global version because of the fact that you can't access an event unless it comes back twice with key. Very questionable stuff. Hopefully this won't happen again. This actually happened recently with LR Goku and Piccolo. Hopefully, like I said, it will not happen again. Unit Dokkan and Trident were two modding tools for Dokkan, Trident being a private server and Unit Dokkan being a modding application. Think of it like Xenoverse Patcher modding, if you're into that. Pretty much like that for Dokkan, and Trident was a private server which had everything maxed out on it and every single card to connect into a separate server that was not Dokkan, so Trident and the creator of Hydros Blades can actually just make a custom server pretty much. This still exists in KX Dokkan, by the way, it's just a different name by a different creator. Tech R Super Saiyan Vegeta worth 1,000 Baba points. This Vegeta right here is peculiar in the fact that he sells for 1,000 Baba points rather than the standard 500. My guess is that this guy was originally an SSR who sold for 10,000, but then was changed right before he was released, and they forgot to backspace a 0 or something like that. I don't know. It's a very odd one, and a lot of people know about this one. I feel like this one should be up a bit more, but yeah, you never know. Hercule on the left is referring to an old summon ritual or premonition where if Hercule flew in on the left side in the old summon animation screen, that meant you were going to get better luck, which I personally believe, by the way. I feel like I've gotten better stuff on the Hercule on the left rather than Hercule on the right. Super Saiyan 3 equals UI is referring to the banner mistake last year for the New Year celebration where Super Saiyan 3 Goku was placed in the pool instead of Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku. However, Ultra Instinct Saiyan Goku, I believe, was advertised in the news, so it was a huge deal that took the banner down for multiple days, and anyone who summoned on the banner of Super Saiyan 3 Goku got stone refunds, got to keep the units, and got to summon on the banner again. Therefore, getting about 6 rotations on the LR Step-Up banner, which is absolutely crazy. Why didn't this happen on JP? Fuck you, Dokkan. JP never gets anything. Last 2 item slots refers to the fact that there originally used to be 6 item slots. However, you could only open up 4, one of the ways through Shenron, but then the other 2 remained there for a couple of years before they just ended up removing it and replacing it with support memories. Every friend support was Bulma in November. This was, I believe, 4 years ago. Bulma's voice actor in Japan passed away. Rest in peace. Everyone said they're friendly to Bulma as a, respect to her voice actor. Very nice stuff. Full Metal Cooler and Golden Frieza teams are referring to the fact that these Coolers and Golden Friezas have different names in their units that you can run them all together and have a complete linking team, which is honestly pretty fun. Hopefully these guys get awakenings. Pilaf Scams is referring to Pilaf Strove on Global before it was rebranded just to the shop itself, having still scammy deals on getting about 600 small potential orb for $20 US, which is a complete fucking ripoff. Please don't buy it. I'm pretty sure you haven't bought any, but I'm telling you, these are terrible. I mean, I don't need to tell you personally, but I don't know why that's so far down. This one is just stupid. I mean, there are some good sales in there, but normally there's just absolute scams in there, like the Mysterious Pack and all stuff like that. Just don't buy it. JP actually never got Pilaf Trove. They only have the subscription service, which I'm honestly kind of glad sometimes, Global wallpaper voting result. This is referring to... Actually, I don't know what this one's referring to. Is this referring to, a mistake in the voting? I'm not entirely familiar with the global side of the game. I'm really sorry, guys. I actually don't know very much about this one. But my guess is that there was a bug in the voting, and maybe it just caused the wallpaper just to not show up for an extremely long time. Shipment. Christmas of 2018, Tech Hit came out in one of the worst celebrations of all time on the global side of the game. People have dubbed this celebration Shitmas. LGE with Cyberman. This referring to the original LGE, Legendary Goku event Fighting Legend Goku, where people would bring in a Cyberman for the last UI Goku phase and complete the event with Cyberman. S-tier Blue Kaioken Goku top grossing. This is back when in December of 2019 when S-tier Blue Kaioken Goku came out on global first. It's referring to when they hit top grossing. They didn't hand out any rewards for it because of the old system where they randomly hand out 30 stones when the banner hit top grossing. However, all through the complaints, they changed it to the 7 stones per country, which sucks ass. I kind of wish they kept it the same, as I feel like global players would be much happier with that, in my opinion. Completely familiar with how they think, so I don't know, but that's what that's referring to. Lower part of Hercule is gone. I have not ever, in my long time playing this game, I feel like I've never seen what this is. Lower part of Hercule is gone. I believe this is referring to the title screen Hercule not having a full render because you're never allowed to see under his thumb pretty much because of the way the screen is. And in the game files, the lower part of Hercule is missing. Battlefield Jiren. This is referring to the infamous final boss of Jiren in Dokkan Battlefield, who's the second ever final boss, being unbelievably difficult to defeat, constantly lowering defense, killing units, dodging, everything of the nature. You could lower his attack, however, Omega Shenron has taken that frickin' throne from Jiren and pulled it from under him. Mass Saiyanism Bardock is referring to Tech Mass Saiyan's quote in his super attack quote. He says, "I am not Bardock." And it's just a complete meme, because it's clearly Bardock. And then people say Future Goten, it's just crazy. S-tier Kale is better than Tech Gohan. It's referring to his Strength Kale, who awakened with Tech Caulifla, being better than Tech Ultimate Gohan because she guards, she stacks defense, she does multiple attacks, which Tech Gohan can't do multiple attacks. And when Caulifla's in rotation with Kale, people think she's better than Tech Gohan, which, it's just a funny meme. Quest Mode Story. Quest Mode has a story? Fusion Story Event. This is referring to Barlot on Global just not being able to be awakened because the event never came back until they put his medals in the shop. Absolutely a disaster. Thank goodness they fixed this. Beating Piccolo up is referring to Area 27-3, Taxing Endeavor, where people would absolutely just demolish Piccolo every minute because the stage takes like a minute to beat. It was the best place to grind rank, so Piccolo, it's just seen better. SSR, Free-to-Play, and LR Gogeta. Take a look at these two on screen. Which one's the LR? Which one's the free-to-play SSR? You'll never know because they look absolutely identical. People have been known to read in the LR to the free-to-play unit not knowing. Lock your damn units. Nappa medals. I believe this is referring to this medal right here on screen. I'm pretty sure this has a absolutely shitty drop rate and people just can't get it. I actually have never seen this one. I'd never had problem getting this Nappa medal. You're waking one unit with it. How's it that bad? I'm missing something here, and I'm sorry, I have never seen anything related to this Nappa medal. Units are made months in advance. This is very prominent in stuff with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, having reused super attacks from free-to-play units that were released 3 months before them. This is because those free-to-play units were made after the LR Super Saiyan 4s. However, while they were made after them, they released before them, and this showed that the LR Super Saiyan 4s were made around the time of Tech Super Full Power Saiyan 4 Goku, about a year in advance before they came out, because they wanted to get the celebration completely done. This led people to believe that units are made in advance, also judging by the ID numbers as well. Recently, this happened with LR Goku and Hit, where they have animations comparable to LR Kale and Caulifla's animations, aka pretty decent, but nothing groundbreaking. Dr. Lychee's High Value. This is referring to the fact that Dr. Lychee, for some reason, had a much higher sell rate than normal. This was a glitch that allowed people to farm a ton of Baba points for a very long time until it was eventually fixed. Goku instead of Vegeta for Worldwide Celebration, JP versus Global event on JP. So pretty much last year during the Global and JP Worldwide Download Celebration, these two cards were awarded out to the subsequent servers, Vegeta to JP and Global got Goku. However, some people on on JP received this Goku instead of the Vegeta for some reason, and ever since then, you could have extra copies of the Goku and none of the Vegeta. But however, this doesn't matter because you can buy them during the anniversaries. But it was a really neat thing before they were added to the shops. JP and Global, same card differences. There's about 4 different cards with this right here. Tech Angel Frieza, AGL Angel Cell, Physical Goku Black, and I believe Int Kid Goku all have Global and JP differences, yet being the same card on both versions. Like, for example, on global, I believe Tech Final Form Frieza lowers attack, or Cell lowers attack, and have higher physical Goku Black actually sucks on JP, but he's good on global. Just things of that nature. TUR with 12 key multiplier of 115%. This is referring to old ass units with these really shitty multipliers, meaning they hit like an actual feather because their multipliers are so low. Remove cards, I believe is referring to, these are like scheduled cards that never saw the light of day, so characters like this Beerus right here and this Whis being Rs even though they're SRs in the actual game. It's just a really weird thing. I'm sure this is what this is referring to. Just cards that you just can never see and never see anywhere or even get. Rage Giant Form Damage Bug. Giant Form Damage Bug, I believe, is referring to the fact that the game would sometimes crash if you finished an event with the Giant Form active. This was a really game-breaking glitch that was fixed on JP, but still came to global because they simply pasted the code from JP. It's pretty sad how that was even a thing, but I also believe this is referring to just having inaccurate numbers in Giant form, especially back when the hidden potential didn't activate for giant units. It was very odd. Summon character combos guarantee fusion. This is speculation, I believe, that certain characters that fly in with Goku during the summon animation would guarantee a fusion. For example, if Trunks and Vegeta fly in alone, that would guarantee a fusion with Vegeta. I believe there is like 20,000 different combinations that would guarantee a fusion, but at this point, it's just so many that it's just RNG and a myth. Bra versus Pan on Peppy Gals. I believe this refers to Bra and Pan being the same exact age, while Bra's on Peppy Gals, but Pan isn't, which is pretty disturbing to think about. Let's just move on. STR Super Saiyan 2 Trunks is a really odd and peculiar unit who didn't have an awakening for about 10,000 years after he released. This is because this Trunks is a what-if character who's never appeared anywhere, and Dokkan just didn't know what to do with him. They eventually awakened him, though, with the Hero Celebration that happened recently, thank goodness, and he's a really good-looking super attack as well. First anniversary rates. This is something scummy that the Dokkan dev team did where they lowered the rates while the banners were out. This is, I believe, even illegal. I don't know why they didn't get in any legal trouble. I don't know if this is flat out illegal, but it feels like it should be if it's not. This is disgusting. They lowered the rates while the banners were out. Actually just grotesque. Global Baba Shop update. This is referring to the update that like put Nurse Chi-Chi's and stuff into the shop for the Global Baba Shop, but it just took forever to come out on the global version of the game, like the ESBR stages. Rip the homie DBS Broly. This is like some trend that I'm just not familiar with. I believe this is referring to STR Broly overtaking DBS Broly as the best unit in the tournament. Is that what that is? I believe that's what that is. I apologize, guys. I thought I knew like a lot of the stuff on here, but this I actually just don't know. Korra. Cooler used to have the name Korra in Dokkan and Legends. Dokkan changed it after Legends did. They changed Korra to Cooler, and for good freaking reason. However, Thouser was never changed to Salza, which is really odd. Collab events. This referring to the One Piece event that happened about 5 years ago on Global, that allowed One Piece Treasure Cruise to collab with Dokkan Battle, and there was an exclusive card for Goku and for Doflamingo. Kale and Caulifla versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku. This is referring to, I believe this is the YouTuber DaTruth DT. When Kale and Caulifla came out in the Japanese version of the game back in 2019, DaTruth DT was on a masquerade to tell everybody that Kale and Caulifla, in his opinion, was the best unit in the game at the time, free dupe. Better than everyone else, 100% dupe. And there was this huge debate because Super Saiyan 4 Goku was the best unit in the game up until their release. However, even at 100%, True thought Super Saiyan 4 Goku was still worse than Kale and Caulifla, which I feel like there's an argument for that. Dude, I didn't summon on the banner, so I don't know, but I'm not going to put my opinion into this. This is an iceberg. That's what that's referring to. There's this huge debate on Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Kale and Caulifla. This also happened with Int Vegito and Kale and Caulifla. Like, would Int Vegito be the best unit in the game if he started out transformed? Just a really fun debate. Gogeta and Broly V-Jump leak. This is referring to way back when AGL Blue Gogeta came out. In the leak for V-Jump, look at this. There's two unused arts for Gogeta and Broly. Gogeta has a new aura, he's tech. Broly's in and has new art. This is just so bizarre. They completely changed the way their arts look, and Broly's art looks really cool too. I don't know what the fuck happened to his new art. I hope they do something with this art. That Broly actually appears in Fizz Broly Super Attack, by the way, as a render. Hopefully they do something with this. That Gogeta aura looks sick. Now it looks like a blue grease stain. Metamorphosis Link Glitch. I believe this word activated multiple times per turn, allowing you to heal way more than intended. Cursed Assets. Check it out for yourself. 24-hour maintenance is... I believe back in 2017, when Int Gogeta came out for Thanksgiving, the game was in maintenance for so long with some of the worst banners of all time. This was such a bad time for Global Dokkan Battle because the banners were terrible, the game was in maintenance constantly, and I believe that everyone got 20 stones for how long the game was in maintenance. It was a disaster. Child-2 abuse. Child-2 abuse, I'm not entirely sure. I believe this is just a reference to the tournament where Child-2's like on every team because he stuns the enemy guaranteed. But I can't be for certain, and if you guys know, feel free to let me know, because I'm actually unsure. Chinese Dokkan is referring to physical Super Vegeto's art was, like, leaked way before he came out in this commercial. And it's just really weird. I believe Chinese Dokkan was, like, a licensed by Bandai Game 2 in China that played completely different than the Dokkan we know, but it did end up using this art for Vegito in it that was officially used, which is really cool, but it's just a really weird thing, honestly. Screaming Grandma commercial is, I think, for the 2019 anniversary of Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. There's this commercial of the grandma screaming when she collected the orbs. Alright. Let's move on. Catastrophic damage. Catastrophic damage is referring to the original term for supreme damage, which used to be catastrophic. They had the same multiplier, but was eventually changed to supreme for some reason. I just don't know why. I feel like catastrophic sounds cooler, but that's just my opinion. Awakened type banners were way back in ancient times of 2016. Type banners would release where you could summon on those that actually had awakened cards, meaning SRs who were SSRs awakened were on the banners, and SSRs who were URs were on the banner, meaning you can actually pull ultra rare characters on a banner. There's no specific summon animation for them, but it was really, really weird. One Piece Goku SSR I talked about earlier, but there was a collab between One Piece and Dokkan Battle, which allowed this Goku to be obtained on the Japanese and global version of the game. The Goku on JP was worse than global because the global version was actually an SSR that could go UR. JP was an SR that could go SSR, meaning he would be rainbowed on global. This was also a really good way to farm those Super Saiyan Goku super attacks. Stone through vendors are a scummy, in my opinion, way of obtaining Dragon Stone. Pretty much, you hand over your Dokkan account to some shady motherfucker on the internet, and they buy stones for you with stolen credit card, and then hand your account back to you for a very cheap price. For example, 100 stones in the US costs about, without a sale, $90. 100 stones in the US costs about $50, which is terrible. However, you could send your account to a vendor for $50 or $20 to buy 100 stones instead at the high risk of them taking your fucking account, but they would use stolen credit cards and hand your account back, also leading to possibly getting banned. It's just a scummy thing. Let's move on. Mythical JP whales. I believe there was a whale called Calc on the Japanese version of the game who would rainbow like 10,000 of every single LR. So they would have LR Broly rainbowed, his TUR, his SSR, then like 3 other LR Broly's rainbowed. I believe that's what that's referring to. Top grossing is predetermined. This is referring to, once again, the copy and pasted banner art, like the copy and pasted banner arts. Dokkan, I believe, has top grossing rewards ready for every single banner, and they just press a button whenever they hit top grossing. However, since they don't always hit it, they never always release the top grossing rewards. Sometimes they'll release them in a thank you pack, pretty much like disguised. Like the top grossing rewards disguised as a thank you pack. However, there was a glitch on Global one time where they actually sent out a notification saying that top grossing was there. However, they actually didn't hit top grossing, leading people to believe that it's a predetermined thing, meaning they always have the rewards ready, which will also explain the copy and pasted banner arts, like I said earlier. Ain't Kid Goku better on Global? For some reason on the global version of the game, Goku Kid, the intelligence version of the Dokkan Fest, he, for some reason, has a 100% higher active skill multiplier, making him a lot better on global with that active skill, especially if it crits. I kind of wish he was like that on JP, dude. Devilman. 1% chance whenever he super attacks, it'll go into the millions in the stratosphere and beyond. And so OP that he's banned in the punching bag and God event, I believe. SCR GT Goku didn't have Fierce Battle. Back with full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who, in my opinion, is one of the best super attacks of the game, don't at me, for some reason had Shattering the Limit instead of Fierce Battle before he came out, and then enough complaining from the Japanese player base got that changed to Fierce Battle. Why don't they do that with AGLR Gohan when there's a complete campaign for him? I'll tell you why, because Dokkan are numbskulls. Closing app to restart turns. Back before Super 17 came out, there was a glitch where during the turn, where if you close the app out, so say you were in a battle with Super 17, or one of the Super Saiyan 4 Dokkan events, and say you accidentally got your physical unit super by Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you could actually close out the game, reopen it, and redo the entire turn, completely breaking the game in any kind of difficulty. This thankfully was fixed. I'm really glad they got rid of that. Legendary Election becoming complete refers to the Legendary Election of 2017, where a bunch of characters on there have since gotten LRs, like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, LR Vegito Blue, Beerus and Whis, and all that. They've all gotten LRs, or very close to the one that, or Baba Point value change. There was a glitch where the free-to-play potential orbs, I believe, could be sold for way more money than that was originally allowed, meaning people just farm Baba points to their heart's content back before this was a glitch, back before they fixed this glitch. Tech SR Guldo is referring to the STR Broly Dokkan event, the original one, being able to be neutered by this Guldo because that Broly had really high defense, and that Guldo would have reduced defense to 0, meaning if they use that Guldo, they could completely destroy that Broly. Dokkan events were on type rotations back before AGL Rose and Physical Vegito Blue came out. Dokkan events were never on a rotation and only would come back during big celebrations, kind of like Super Battle Road being open every day. It's just things, and Easy A's coming back during big celebrations. Dokkan events were originally like that, where for months at a time, you couldn't even awaken your units. I remember, for me, I had Physical Goku Black, and I could not awaken him for ages on the global version of the game because the Dokkan events weren't available. For example, during the AGL Rose celebration, they brought all the Dokkan events back, and during the Physical Goku Black celebration, they had his events there, but I was a new player at the time, and I couldn't complete his event, so I was not able to awaken my unit for literally weeks until they brought the event back with AGL Rose. Just a fun history lesson. Global LR Android campaign, there was a glitch where people got double rewards, and there was an entire fiasco about that. Oh my goodness, let me not get started on. Shugesh is a very old meme, which I'm very surprised by. It's all the way down here, but pretty much Shugesh, people pretend to worship him like he's the god of Dokkan. It's a very age-old meme that pretty much everybody knows about at this point. Shenron summon animation is referring to, there was a 0.1% chance whenever you started up the summon screen, you would get the Shenron summon animation. This was so rare, but only guaranteed to lousy SSR. I've seen this for myself when a friend summoned once. Yeah, you get it for a friend summon, but it was the rarest animation in the game. I kind of wish it was still in the game, personally. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku summon animation was added in 2018 when the summons got revamped with the new animations. However, this animation has been through hell and has never been actually implemented. It's just an image file in the game for some reason. Double Ghost Usher was referring to the fact that you could actually use 2 Ghost Ushers in the same turn, and the second one would do absolutely nothing, therefore wasting a Ghost Usher. Last one line 1784 days ago was referring to, I believe there was a post where back before like 2,000 days and all that, the oldest friend on your friends list was like 1,700 days old. And it's like a unit awakened that long ago today, and their leader unit was that from that long ago, finally awakened, and they don't get to experience it. I believe that's what that's referring to. Once again, these are some of these are obscure references that I just haven't seen. No Image is a glitch that happened back with the AGL Super Vegito Dokkan event. When it got a new stage with Physical Super Vegito, for some reason there was this SR Vegito on Global that was added in before Super Vegito came out. Meaning you could actually farm a copy of SR Vegito, and for some reason he would have no image, he would have no super attack, he would be a complete glitch. The Majin Buu Saga category was in the game. This was so bad they actually ended up releasing Super Vegito much earlier than intended. V-Jump codes for Global are, I believe, referring to the V-Jump exclusive cards on JP, but that are actually translated on Global, which is weird. Why they did that, why they went through the effort of translating it, but maybe we'll get these cards one day. Level Max. Back in 2017, early 2017, when you had a character at level 120 or 100 or their max level, it would say level max instead of level 120. 9 out of 10 SSR multi, I believe one time a post was made that showed 9 out of 10 units in the multi being an SSR on a double raids banner. Farming Prime Battle Goku Frieza on release. Back when Prime Battle Goku Frieza released, they actually have a 4th stage nowadays. However, back when they released, they only had 3 stages, with the drop rate of the unit being, I believe, 1% on stage 1 for both of those events respectively, which is criminal. Thankfully, they added stage 4 for those 2 events where you fought different types of that unit, but originally it wasn't always like that. Optimal Pycon is referring to STR Pycon that were released during the 2017 anniversary of the global version of Dokkan Battle, where Pycon was, like, he was fighting for a place on Mono Strength Super Saiyan 4 Goku against STR Trunks, and people, because he had prepared for battle, people wanted the Pycon on there for some reason. I don't know why this Pycon had prepared for battle, but it's just a really funny meme, pretty much. And then this guy just never came to JP for like a year and a half or something insane. This SR Vegeta is referring to this Vegeta right on screen, who for some reason has big bad bosses, even though he's a hero type and an SR. It's really weird. DFE LR type release cycle. People had a formula in their heads that DFE LRs, Dokkan Fest exclusive LRs, would release in certain type cycles. For example, maybe there's an AGL Int one that released, so that means Tech would be next, and then Physical and STR, and just mythical cycles, pretty much. I believe this was debunked. SSJ Gohan Transformation on Punching Bag event. So, there's this very obscure strategy that you can do with Chowman and characters who harm yourself intentionally within Android 16 on the rotation with Gohan. If you get the stars aligned for the perfect rotation, you can get AGL LR Gohan to transform in the Punching Bag event, possibly even getting you the 77 million damage. Original physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, Fizz Super Vegito, and TUR STR Broly commercial art. I believe during this random weird Dokkan commercial that... Remember this physical Super Vegito? Well, during that commercial there was another Super Vegito, and just the unused art or early versions of arts that were shown much before the card release. Including in LR Vegito Super Attack animation. Vegito, I believe, was in there too. I'm not entirely sure on this one though, as I feel like I stuff like this completely interests me, so I don't know how I don't know about this, but Original physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is referring to back before physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks came out in JP. His 12 key would like sacrifice HP. His 11 key would barely do it, just did immense damage, and then his 9 and 10 key super attack didn't do anything. However, due to outrageous complaints from the Japanese player base, he was changed and massively buffed before release. Super Tech Animations, which is referring to a glitch in the game back around the first anniversary, where players were for some reason able to actually glitch the game and make characters do super attacks that weren't there, like Cell doing weird attacks and Yamcha doing weird attacks. It's really weird. I have one on screen for you right now if you want to check it out. LR Goku Frieza KO screen was back when LR Goku Frieza released. If you look at the showcase video for these guys, you will notice they have a KO screen that was removed about a year after they came out for some reason. I know people say it's redundant, but it really still pisses me off how they was removed. That KO screen was sick. R-Cop Killing was banished. This is referring to I believe the Resurrection F story event where R-Cop Krillin never came back in the new version of it, meaning that is the rarest card in the entire game, pretty much. Beta Dokkan and commercial before launch. I don't know what this one is, really. If I find out what it is, I will edit it into the video, but I've never seen what this was. Ox King reducing 75 damage was a bug in the game, where if you use 2 Ox Kings, well, normally they reduce damage by 50% if you use 2 of them. However, using 2 of them would end up reducing 100% damage, because there was a glitch where using 1 of them would reduce, I believe, 75% damage instead of 25%, which was a glitch in the game that was later fixed. Personally, a very tactical glitch. I wonder if people were able to complete events because of this. No guaranteed SR was way back in the day. Banners didn't even have guaranteed SRs, let alone SSRs on them. Absolutely crazy. Type Dokkan Fest exclusive banners refers to back before the game had 10,000 million units in it. For example, when AGL Transforming Goku and Tech Transforming Frieza came out, they had Super Type DFE banners and then Extreme Type DFE banners, where only good guys were featured on the Super Type, and then only villains were on the Frieza banner. R card with 160% multiplier. This is referring to N-Cell Jr. for some reason to have a 160% key multiplier, while only LRs and TUR Tech Vegito Blue and SCR Rose have this multiplier, same with AGL. Bug-free stones mission. I believe this is where you could actually... This was a global issue, I know that, but you could actually get... There was like a New Year's mission that you could do early or something. You could get like free stones. That was eventually clearly fixed really fast because it would affect sales, but... This was a glitch where you could just accept a mission that wasn't technically in the game yet. Think of it like the no image glitch with the STR Vegito. This was a glitch that was later. Int Mecha Frieza. This is referring to this Super Strike Mecha Frieza. For some reason in the Super Strike there's actually 2 farmable units. Physical Mecha Frieza and Int Mecha Frieza. Int Mecha Frieza awakens to a Golden Frieza, while Physical Mecha Frieza is the Super Strike unit. This Int Mecha Frieza awakens to Golden Frieza, making us question why he even exists in the first place. Tech Vegito Blue's Dokkan event missing final boss music. I would also like to add an extra fact in here myself that, well, yes, Tech Vegeta Blue on Dokkan's global version, when it came out, didn't actually have any Phase 4 music. Also, when Tech Vegeta Blue's Dokkan event came out, when he did his super attack, it was from the left perspective instead of the enemy's right perspective, which you could never see normally. This was later fixed in an update, though. Same with the Dokkan event final boss music. SSR Tech Final Form Frieza Dokkan Awakening. This is this Frieza on screen right here, who awakens into an SSR. That sounds normal, except for the fact that he is an SSR. He awakens to an SSR as an SSR, and his links get worse after he awakens. It's such a bizarre card. He was pulled from banners, along with Convulsing Rage Goku, Mira, and Towa, who were later brought back on banners. However, this Frieza has never seen the light of day since. Piccolo Jr. and Kibito Strike events. Why is it so far down? I don't know, but this is the Strike events getting revamps currently on JP. Units are now getting Easy 8 from Strike events. However, originally characters with Strike events got Super Strike events, got awakened into SSRs. However, Piccolo and Kibito never actually got awakened into the SSRs, let alone TURs. Now, we don't know if they'll get brought back in the future. I have a feeling they will be, and they won't be unobtainable anymore, but these two are some of the rarest cards in the game. You will find old global players with. AGL Voldemort is a meme, I believe, that I'm just not familiar with. I feel bad because I feel like I should know this one, but I don't. If this is referring to something on the Dokkan subreddit, forgive me guys, I don't know. I have no idea. If I find out, you can let me know in the comments if you know what this one is. I'm very sorry. Unused arts. This is referring to, I wouldn't tell you the most notorious version of this being this int base form Vegeta from the Collection of Epic Battles event. For so long, this guy was only used in a metal. There was also this with, I think, Chi-Chi and Bulma just being only used in Super Attack assets, or just being used on login screen. This also happened with the Super Saiyan Goku from the Cell games that was just never used, who will eventually be used as an SSR. But it was absolutely bizarre because these cards just aren't used in actual cards themselves. They're just assets in story events and login screens. Very bizarre stuff. Tech Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta appearing in boxes. This was a glitch back in 2018. This Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta right now, who awakened recently on both versions, for some reason came out on global first in a random day to download, and then he was added into people's boxes for some reason. In fact, it was so bad that people started feeding him Kais and orbs, and then Dokkan didn't know what to do, so they actually rolled the servers back to a previous state before he was added into the game to fix the glitch, and handed out 20 stones after like a 12-hour maintenance. Really crazy stuff. Really cool stuff, though. Old box photoshops. This is just referring to people, I think, just photoshopping their boxes. We're getting down really low now. There's some of these. I know a lot of these, but holy crap. Some of these are really weird. Like this box photoshopped one, I'm not entirely sure. Even through research. Jesus fucking Christ, this is just, I don't know why this is so far down, but this is this right here. Fake summon results. I believe this is just referring to people who would just fake their summons, right? So, say a new banner for Super Saiyan Goku comes out, a Dokkan Fest version, and then people didn't pull him. However, people would Photoshop that they pulled him by taking like his icon and placing it in the summon box from wherever that banner came from. They would just take the icon and put it in the summon result to let people think they pulled him, even though they didn't. Monal Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta's Dokkan event. This is the weirdest one on here. Take a listen. What the fuck is this? Some fucking horror porno game or some shit? I don't know. But I didn't even know about this one really. But this is notorious. I don't know, let's move on. I Play Dokkan is a post on the Dokkan subreddit where some dude he posted I Play Dokkan. And the text was just Dokkan. And it got like 3,000 upvotes and a bunch of awards. Old Super Saiyan 4 passives were AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku and SCR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta originally had passives of being just like attack plus 80% and defense plus 80%, and then the counter supers, I believe. But eventually this was ended up changing to being attack plus 80%, then defense plus 80%, depending on how long the fight's going on and stuff like that. Dude, if they got those old passives, they would suck ass. Law Class Saiyans. Low-class Saiyans is referring to an old story typo where I believe Turles would say law-class Saiyans instead of low-class Saiyans. It was just a translation error. AGL Gohan was nerfed. This one is notorious, but I feel like this one's well-known. Originally, I believe the data miners, or French data miners and leakers said that AGL Gohan was so good that they had to nerf him before he came out. I don't know why they did. I meant, dude, I would be the first to say AGL Gohan is okay at best. He's only good for log events now, but if he was the way he was supposed to be, he'd probably be one of the best units in the game even still. Team Bardock 3rd and 4th dupes. Unfortunately, all we know about Team Bardock 3rd and 4th dupes is that they're locked in some jail cell underground in a volcano secret base in Hawaii or some shit. We have no idea what is going on with these. The 3rd and 4th, you cannot rainbow this unit. If you have them rainbowed, you are going to be detained and hidden from society. LR Goku and Bulma. Battlefield 1.0 was an original game mode in Dokkan Battle. The original for Battlefield 2.0 on JP. On Global, you don't even know about this, but this was a tower defense mode that you could play in Dokkan. It was so sick. It was like Chain Battle, but better. It was like completely different than how Dokkan played. It pains me how they just got rid of this. It was so fun. They just needed to fix it up. It only came around for 2 seasons. I played for 1 season myself. I even have an uneven amount of currency in the shop because you could get like currencies in 1, 2s, and 3s, so you could actually like tell if you played this on your account and whatnot. I played this myself, and only for 1 season though. I didn't get to play the first ever season, but hopefully this comes back in the future in a new game mode. Really, it's actually pretty. This is more of a sad entry. Crack screen on Super Saiyan 2 and 3. I don't think this can happen on Super Saiyan 3, but on Super Saiyan 2, you can actually get a crack, which will always be a double crack screen, guaranteeing a Dokkan Fest or no. Remove Kamehameha Glow from Go Bros. Back when Tech Gohan and Goten's LR came out in Global, I believe their LR's thumb icon was actually colored, not based around the Kamehameha like it should have been. This also happened recently with in Super Saiyan Goku. People know about this one. I don't know why this one's so far down. It's just an illustration error, like card art errors that we talked about earlier. Fizz SSR for LR Babidi and Buu released before Prime Battle Goku. This is referring to the SSR of LR Buu and Babidi. Babidi's SSR is so old that his card was actually made, like the ID for the card was made before even Tech Super Saiyan Goku's SSR was, because how old the art was. But the TUR and LR obviously knew, but his SSR was made so long ago he came out before the original Prime Battle Goku. He was made before it. This is also similar with Int Kid Goku as well with his art. It was unused. LR Broly was the first Dokkan Fest. I think this is referring to that LR Broly was so strong that everyone just called the original STR-TUR Broly LR Broly. Original concept art for Dokkan. I believe this refers to original card arts in Dokkan that don't appear anywhere else. Like, so, if a card doesn't have a unique pose... I can't think of any off the top of my head, but like cards that don't have origin art, pretty much. And Dokkan just makes the art based on their own thoughts rather than like the source material. Like the original Super Tech animations. With LR Goku and Hit. SCR-SR Frieza was the best leader. This is referring to this Frieza right here having the best leader skill in the game at the time of the release, being an all-types leader of attack with 15%. Still one of the best leaders in the game if you ask me. Card name changes. We talked about this one earlier with Korra and Cooler. A while after Cooler came out, like physical Cooler, every instance of Korra was changed into Cooler. This happened on Legends first, then Dokkan followed suit. This happened with other characters too, like, I think this happened with Pikkon too, where it was Paikuhan, but then they changed it to Pikkon. Just dub stuff, it's really weird. In Ultimate Gohan Dokkan event is referring to, for some reason when In Ultimate Gohan's Dokkan event came out, the weakness, the wall standing tall, I believe is the weakness for this. For some reason, it didn't actually go through his damage reduction, and it was a glitch, meaning the Dokkan event was really easy at the time. Dokkan events now are not hard anymore, but these were back when Dokkan events were the prime, most difficult content in the game. So I believe it wouldn't actually activate, and his shield might have always been down, and this was later fixed, I believe. I wasn't actually playing the game at this time, but from what I've read, yeah, his like barrier wouldn't actually even activate. And the link didn't even do anything. Dokkan Paper Ad Xenoverse box. This is something on the subreddit that was posted where someone got a Dokkan ad in their Xenoverse box. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up on screen. But Xenoverse 1 and Dokkan Battle came out in 2015. Meaning Dokkan was obviously trying to advertise their game in that time. So they obviously just slipped pieces of paper in the Xenoverse pre-orders to promote their game. Super and Extreme changed from type to class. Back when Tech VB and STR Rose released, Super and Extreme classes were originally called Super and Extreme type. This was done to prevent any kind of confusion with like super class banners and super tight banners and stuff like that. Just a really interesting text that I'm pretty sure actually some people might remember if they think back long enough if they were playing for this long. Vegeta Snark. This, I believe, is a post on the Dokkan subreddit where some guy misspelled LR Vegeta and Nappa so badly that it turned into this abomination. But yeah, guys, that's it for the Dokkan Battle Iceberg. I'm sorry for missing some of these where I didn't know them, but I honestly, like, I've never seen some of these before, ever. But I covered pretty much every single one of them, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, that's fantastic. If you didn't, that's fine too. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the Dokkan Battle Iceberg. Maybe I'll do one of these for another game if I'm interested in it. But yeah, guys, that's it. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.